On this day, 80 years ago, the world was introduced to a small book titled The Three Railway Engines. This book contained 4 stories relating to 3 characters, Edward, Gordon, and Henry. Fast forward to 2025, this little book spawned an entire book series, a TV show with 24 seasons, a theatrical film, merchandise, a dedicated fan base, and so much more. I am of course talking about the 80th anniversary of Thomas the Tank Engine. This has been a video I've been wanting to do for a bit, and May kinda just spawned out of nowhere. Seriously, this year is going by really fast. So I guess now is as perfect a time to talk about why I love this show so much. So sit back, grab your Breaking Bad Complete Series DVD, and join me as we get into my history with Thomas and why I still love the show to this day. Now, I don't know the exact memory of when I saw Thomas for the first time, but I do remember what my first exposure was. I was 2 years old, and my first time ever seeing Thomas was watching a DVD of either Magic Railroad or the Thomas Comes to Breakfast DVD, although I am leaning more towards Magic Railroad. My cousins had grown out of Thomas and had a bunch of DVDs and toys, so they sent all of it to my parents, and that's when it all started. I was instantly hooked by what I was seeing. These trains with faces seeming larger than life almost made it feel magical. See what I did there?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
And of course, how could I not mention first seeing Diesel 10? I don't know how I wasn't scared shitless by this guy as a kid, seeing as how many other people have said that when they were younger. Little me loved him. I distinctly remember my parents putting the movie on for me when I was like 5 or something, and right before the Diesel 10 shed scene came on, I left the living room to go into my room to get something. When I came back, the scene ended. Now, little me didn't know how to use a remote, so I did what any 5-year-old does, and I cried. All because I didn't see the funny train with the claw, which is kind of weird because at that point I had probably seen the movie over 1,000,000 times by then. I knew how the scene went. Why did I cry? I was a very stupid child. I remember always getting bored when watching the scenes with the humans and would always skip to the train scenes. Besides Magic Railroad, another DVD I watched religiously was the Thomas Comes to Breakfast one. This is where I was introduced to the grimy side of Thomas that season 2 is known for. I don't really know why, but I just love the episodes they chose for this DVD. I remember my favorites were from the Diesel trilogy. I guess I just had a thing for Diesel characters. Although I always remember when watching Pop Goes the Diesel, and when Diesel tries to pull the old trucks, my DVD would start lagging, and it would kind of creep me out for some reason. I also remember going to my grandma's every Saturday and watching Thomas VHSs that she had. The VHSs she had were Thomas, Percy and the Dragon, Cranky Bugs, Make Someone Happy, and Percy's Chocolate Crunch. Now let me tell you, that was my shit. I would watch these, especially the season 5 ones, all the time. I think that's probably why I think season 5's the best season. How can you not love it?
Ah! Help!
Call the engines from inside the shed.
I can't!
I think show-wise, the seasons I mainly grew up with were seasons 1, 2, 5, and 6. I, of course, watched other episodes from other seasons, but these were personally my favorites to watch. The calm storybook vibes from season 1, the gritty, messy season 2, the cinematic kaboom that is season 5, and, well, season 6 visually looks like a funeral, but the stories were good. I will say that, without season 6, we wouldn't have had No Sleep for Cranky, and that was even in the Bible, on the 3rd day, God gave us no sleep for Cranky.
You must have known my arm can't reach you there.
Later down the line, I discovered this website called YouTube where you could upload anything you wanted to the site. So, me being a curious kid, I looked up Thomas and I was surprised. There were more Thomas videos? I thought I had seen it all. I'm pretty sure the first YouTube video I saw was probably a re-upload or a remake of The Chase from Magic Railroad, let's be honest here. But then I started to look deeper and realized that there were more Thomas fans out there. People from different ages, young and old, creating content. You got remakes, MVs with the worst quality ever, episode re-uploads with the worst quality ever, train stuff, Diesel 10 murdering an angry bird.
Goodbye, Redbird.
The list goes on with how much Thomas content was filling up YouTube, and my mind was blown. YouTube is how I eventually kept up with the show because Mattel sucks at distributing their content, and the only way to watch some of these new episodes coming out would be on YouTube. Although things changed once the Journey Beyond Sodor trailer dropped. The trains were bouncing? They didn't do that before, why are they doing it now? I eventually saw Journey Beyond Sodor and actually did like it a bit, but this was just a sign of things to come. Eventually I had heard about the whole Big World Big Adventures reboot that the show was going into. Edward and Henry were getting shot out back and being replaced with these new female characters. Thomas was gonna travel the world and meet new faces along the way. The whole thing just felt weird to me. I remember catching an airing of Big World at like 6 a.m. on Nick Jr., and I didn't like it. This was weird. I hadn't liked things from Thomas before, but this was just different. This kind of ruined Thomas for me. I decided to step away from Thomas for a bit and focused on other things. That was until 2020 when I found out about this little app called TikTok. This seemed cool. I downloaded it, and just for shits and giggles, I looked up Thomas, and I was very surprised to see many Thomas creators on there. And on June 6th, 2020, I made my first TikTok video. I found new friends, most of which I'm still friends with today. Shout out to y'all. And I made content on TikTok for about 2 years before eventually taking a break from TikTok as I felt I was kind of running dry. 2 months later, I came back, and that didn't really last that long. And right before New Year's in 2022 or 2023, I can't really remember, I quit TikTok and gave the account to one of my friends and basically told them to private the account and get rid of all the posts. I really hate who I was on TikTok because the videos I made were so cringy that I don't want to be remembered like that. But back in 2021, I did decide to make a YouTube channel, so this was my second option after TikTok. I have some of my really old TikToks archived, but I never plan to show them to anyone. This shit makes me recoil in my seat. But yeah, that's basically how I ended up here. Now, the reason this video might be coming out late or not, I really don't know as I'm recording this on the 80th anniversary, is because I've been really struggling to figure out how to word my thoughts on the show because I don't really know how I feel about it, if that makes sense. That is, until a couple of days ago. I won't get into it, but something happened and it hit me hard. To try and feel better, I threw on a couple of my old Thomas DVDs and my mood changed completely after that, and that's when it hit me. Thomas, to me, is an escape. It's that thing that takes your mind off of whatever bad thing is going on. It's something that I can just watch and relax. The easy to understand faces and simple but effective narration make it a joy to sit through, and I cannot express how happy I am to be a part of this fandom. It's not perfect, but it's such a blast to be in this fandom. Seeing people's customs or unique takes on the characters to completely new and exciting projects. There really isn't any other fandom out there like the Thomas fandom. And another thing I adore about this show is the dedication it had behind it. Britt Allcroft's dedication to bring this show to kids all over the world is nothing short of amazing. How could I forget how this entire thing spawned from when Wilbur Audrey's son, Christopher, was sick with the measles, and to try and take his mind off of that, Audrey created stories about these talking trains. I really do think that was always the vision from the start. Thomas is a safe space for thousands of other people out there. Words cannot describe how much this show means to me. It always helps me out when I'm going through a tough time. Thank you, Wilbur Audrey, for creating the books and just being an overall great guy. Thank you, Christopher Audrey, for continuing where your father left off in the Railway series and creating some of my favorite stories. Thank you, Britt Allcroft, for your complete and utter dedication to bringing the show to kids around the world. Thank you, David Mitten, for your incredible model work and balls off the walls pyrotechnics. Thank you, Mike O'Donnell and Junior Campbell, for making some of the best music I've heard from a synthesizer. Thank you, Ian McHugh, for showing everyone the pilot and caring so much about the fans. And thank you to everyone else who's worked on this show. I and thousands of others out there would not be here if it wasn't for everyone's craft in making this show. Thanks for everything, and happy 80th anniversary, Thomas.